I mean, I don't know, maybe usually people are in here by now, right?
Yeah, for sure. And we
Yeah,
don't
they're
have
usually,
to force it, if it's like,
no, no. I mean, if no one shows up, I mean, we don't. It's kind of hard to have a meeting if nobody shows up.
right?
If nobody shows up, it means that they didn't know there was a meeting or whatever. There's some bona fide reason.
I'm hoping seriously that the reason is that they're enjoying their time with their families for Father's Day.
Well, that could be it too.
By the way, so we are live streaming right now, and let's see if this is actually going out. Um, so I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who might be watching this somewhere, somehow. It's David Dorian Ross with my buddy Tim right here. And today is supposed to be the day for our virtual pipe club meeting. And we had this brilliant idea that today we talk about Father's Day and what everybody wants for Father's Day gifts, pipe wise or not, otherwise. All I want for Father's Day is a Yes Conowitz. I don't know. I made that song up just now.
It's a good song though.
Is that a good song?
Yeah, I mean
Me,
it is. It is.
I have a nice collection of pipes, which now I have to think about. But what I want for Father's Day is a bandsaw and
A bandsaw.
a bandsaw. Just
That shouldn't be too hard to do.
yeah, except
I mean,
my
wait, what?
family thinks it's the big like I'm not um, I'm not particularly artistic or handy with things. I just like to muddle around, with stuff, and have some projects that I wanted to buy. But they always like, "What are you going to do with a bandsaw?" And I'm like, "Does it matter?"
Well, well, do you mean a bandsaw or like a scroll saw? Because a bandsaw is pretty much made to cut large pieces of wood, right? It's like a scroll saw is out where you can take a little object and
Yeah,
the blade is so thin you can like cut curves and stuff. The bandsaw, you can sort of do that with a thin blade, but when if you have a thick
yeah,
blade, it pretty much makes a well. I mean, you could do a number of different things with the bandsaw. I mean, it's a handy gadget to have around.
yeah. There's
I mean,
things, so I think a bandsaw is quite handy for repair work.
hmm
I think a bandsaw is quite handy for some of the martial arts
hmm
toys that I use, and I would make some more. Um, you know, it's like,
you,
how do
you,
you what are you gonna do with a bandsaw? I don't know because I don't have one.
well, I'll tell you this much. Like, I have a bandsaw, and I originally got it for the pipe making, right?
Right?
And but we've certainly done. We've done a number of things here like that were not pipe related with the bandsaw and my other tools. You know, so yeah, it really does have a purpose. Like on our garage, we have these decorative like things holding up the little overpass. It's kind of like an architecture type of. It's a post,
Right.
and we've been able. My wife designed them, and we had a template, and we just cut them out on the bandsaw. So like, hey, all this money all this equipment I bought, is still to good use. And you know what? You can also, I mean, you can buy one anywhere from like $100 to 900 or more. I mean, depending on the size, you get a real monster if you like. Hi, Dave.
Well,
Hey, fellas.
Dave's
Good
here.
to see
That's
you
all we need.
today.
I've been in the waiting room for about 20 minutes, so I don't
Oh,
know
you
what's
have?
going
Oh
on.
no. I don't
Yeah.
know. Can you tell? How would I tell if there's other people in the way? I didn't
So,
see
so
you,
down at the
Dave. When you came up, when I saw admit, I hit it right. This is the first time I saw
Yeah.
admit that you were there, and I
I,
hit it.
I came and left a few times thinking something
Oh,
might be
oh,
glitched, but
oh, okay.
I
so
was
Tim
waiting.
Tim, go down to the bottom of your Zoom
Right.
window, and there's a little thing that says participants.
Okay, okay, yeah, participants, yep.
Click on it, and it should tell you who's in the waiting room, if anybody's in the waiting room.
Yeah, all it is us so far.
All right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, I will.
Yeah, I mean, it says it's a 4 of us. So Dave, I don't know what happened with that.
Oh, I made a separate link for joining the meeting, but I thought maybe something was wrong with that. So then I went back to the BPC live post and clicked on that one, but
Well,
I
glad you're
made the
here,
link
bro.
copying it from that one. But anyway,
Well, I'm busy going through my groups list here on my phone and sharing the post to everybody. You know what? I got to do this. There we go. And I'm going to stop talking.
okay, somebody better talk or we're going to be in the twilight zone.
No, Dale, how are you doing today, Dave?
Pretty good. Yeah, no
That's
work.
good.
So just having a nice afternoon. Well, it's just afternoon, but yeah, can't complain.
I enjoy the pictures of you on the train. That's cool. Can I ask you, is it when you're on that train, how cold or warm is it in the place where you drive the train?
Well, right now, the last couple of weeks, it's been 100, almost 100 degrees every day. So,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Well, when when it's like ridiculously cold, like minus 25, how is it? Is there heat in there? I mean,
Oh, yeah. 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 We got electric sidewall heaters, like, them old fashioned electric heaters in the house that with the little
yeah.
pins on them and stuff. And then we
Mhm.
also have forced air that comes from the engine heat too. So
Yeah.
it's warm in there.
So it's plenty warm. It doesn't sound, but sounds like they don't have air conditioning in the thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Most of them do.
Do really?
Yeah. The newer ones do. Some of the older ones, you just have to open the window and hope you're
Mhm.
going fast enough to get some
Mhm.
air moving through them. But
Yeah. Cool. So when you drive the train, how far or how long do you drive it for?
it's various amounts of time. It's not, there's, like the long runs would be about 170 miles. And then
Mhm.
there's times where you don't go anywhere. You just go back and forth making trains in the yard or,
Mhm.
yeah. It's pretty, you can't say it's the same every day. So you could go on a long journey or you could go absolutely nowhere for 10 hours.
Mhm. I mean, it seems like it's a pretty cool job. I mean, I don't know how it is. Obviously, I don't know how it is in reality, but it seems like it's a pretty cool job. The idea of driving a train. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, after 27 years, the
mhm.
romance kind of fades or whatever,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
whatever. It is still, I don't, it's better than saying I pump gas for a living or something.
Mhm.
It's a little more fun and interesting, I guess, but
I mean, I'm sure driving that train is super. I mean, for you, maybe it's like easy now, but I would imagine it is super complex as far as operating a locomotive.
yeah, it's actually pretty simple, but there, you have a lot of responsibility and
Mhm.
it's not about difficulty, it's about being able to manage the future. You're always looking into the future when you're driving a train because
Mhm.
nothing happens right now on a train. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
you have to know when you're stopping and if you have to stop right now, that's not happening.
Right. It's definitely not a stop on a dime machine.
No, no, you got usually like to make like a really controlled stop on a train, it'll take you a few miles at least.
Mhm.
You can stop a lot quicker, but you run the risk of having some pretty catastrophic outcomes if you really try to stop fast. If put the train in emergency or something, you
Mhm.
got some
Mhm.
kind of physics happening there that could cause it to come off the track.
Yeah,
or
like it could
break rail or whatever. You can, yeah. So you want to avoid that at all costs. So, yeah. Yeah, I think anybody could make a train go. I could get you on a train and you could make it go in minutes, but getting it to stop when you want it to, where you want it to, that's where the art comes into driving trains. And maintaining control. You got to know where you are. Some of the trains are 3 miles long. Like half of the train could be going up a hill and the other half could be still going down a hill, or there could be 2 or 3 parts of a train that are all going up and down. So to manage it, that it doesn't like smash in and out, because there's a certain amount of, we call it slack, in between each car. So the more cars you have, the more slack you have. And the general rule is about 3%. So when you're talking 15,000 feet, like 3% is quite a bit of slack. So running in and out with the amount of weight that you have involved, and then it's, you got to be careful about how you apply power. So that
it sounds like it's definitely a lot of stuff to be working. It's a lot of stuff to keep in mind, and you're right. I mean, you don't. Yeah, I mean, if this entire train is suddenly coming to a stop, all that force behind it, all those cars that weigh tons and tons and hundreds of thousands, however much that thing weighs. I mean, that's still force, still moving, right? I mean, it's like, okay, how are you gonna? Yeah, I get it. Like you have to sounds like you're saying you have to gradually slow it down and stop it that way.
Yeah, you have to make sure the slack comes in gently so that the train doesn't smash into you, because that can happen and that can cause damage. But each car has its own brakes on it. It's just depending how the train's made up is, if all the engines are on the front of the train, then your brakes are only gonna start working from the front to the back slowly. So you get brakes on the front and then the back of the train's still coming at you, kind of thing. So but you see trains where there's engines here in the front, and then there's an engine in the middle, and then an engine at the back. Then the brakes all set up kind of gradually throughout the train all at the same time, and that makes it a lot more manageable. But anyway, yeah, there's a whole bunch of.
It sounds like a lot to really important, a lot of important things to know.
Yeah. I like telling people, when you're driving your car, you got like a 12, 14 foot area that you're worried about. So when you're driving a train, you're thinking about 4 or 5 miles ahead of you and up to 3 miles behind you. You got like about a 6 to 8 mile, area that you're kind of concerned about what's going on in. So it's, it's about management. You get good at it. It's just like any other job.
Well, it's interesting stuff. I did not know that. I find it very fascinating. Hi, Dimitri. Good to see you today.
Hey, brother.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody being Tim and I.
Yeah, so DDR he's maybe part of this meeting for a little while, and then he's going to leave. So I think he might stick around for a little bit and jump back in. Oh, there he is again. Hey, DDR, good to have you back. Okay.
Yeah, I also, give me a second here. So I just got a message for the people who are watching us over there on YouTube and Facebook that I had no sound. I know that. I turned my microphone off so that we didn't have that horrible echoes thing. And it's not about me, it's about you. It's about all my friends there. Today is, for those people who are watching, is a looks like a really, really relaxed day. We might not even have a full meeting time for everybody because it looks like a bunch of people either did not remember that we had a meeting today, or maybe, and this is, I was telling Tim just a minute ago, my hope is that people are not in the meeting today because they're off having some wonderful times with their families and enjoying Father's Day and whatnot. So that would be totally legit. But I have to, for some personal reasons, sort of slip out the back door, and I'm going to turn the whole meeting over to Tim and whatnot. But I see a bunch of people over there in the YouTube group. It's very nice to see you guys. Welcome and thank you for being here. I'm going to turn it back over to Tim and let you guys have your own conversation, your own meeting. And I just want to say, because I won't be around to say it later, I hope you have the most amazing time with family and friends, and that all of your Father's Day wishes come true, man. Whatever it is that you sent to the Great Pumpkin, or whoever. I don't know. Do we have a patron saint of Father's Day? I don't know. That they deliver that to your doorstep. Anyway, that's my thing. I'm turning it back over to Tim. And
Thanks, brother. Same to you.
yeah, I love
Thank
you guys.
DDR.
I put
So
a
it looks
little
like
post on the virtual pipe club here. Maybe we can get some more folks coming. I don't
yeah,
know.
this is very unusual. Like I think somehow they must not know, because there's usually in the beginning, they're all there like it too, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's very strange. So I don't know. Let's see how it goes. We can hang out for a while, and
Sure.
if it seems like we can meet for, as if we want to meet for less time, we don't have, we can, so
Yeah, whatever.
just kind of
Sounds
be
good.
here.
Yeah.
Well,
I
since
miss
there's
lots of
only
meetings.
Yeah, Dimitri, yeah, we missed you the last meeting. I'm saying, where's Dimitri?
Yeah.
Like, there's these
Yeah,
people that are
I was
always
busy working. Yeah, I was working, so couldn't be here.
Well, should we put the pipe around the room? It won't take long. Start with Tim.
Okay, so I'm smoking this Stanwell,
Oh,
and this is I bought this and another Stanwell off my friend Andy Kamir, who a great guy,
yeah.
and I got like both of them together for like maybe 130, 140, but they're both like really good smokers. I love this shape, and it's got some really nice grain on it. I
Yeah,
mean,
the straight grain is
it's really nice grain. And well, while I'm at it, let me show you the other one that I bought as well. So I also got this other one. This just sort of very classic,
Oh, I like that.
egg, apple, whatever, really two really great smokers. I purchased a few different pipes from Andy over the years, and they're all like just great pipes. He's a really knowledgeable guy and collector, and he's at all the shows. But
I
anyway,
always see pictures of him at all the shows. So
oh yeah, Andy's awesome. I've known him for a really long time. He's a member of the Sherlock Holmes Pipe Club. He hasn't been in a while, but he was always in our meetings. And that's how I met him. But I'm smoking McBaron's Vanilla Flake now. That is a really good blend. I was actually very, very surprised by this, because it's not like an awful goopy vanilla. It's like really good Virginia tobacco with a little bit of vanilla essence. I like to have it in the morning. I like to go towards something lighter in the morning. So that's what I'm doing. And then I think I'm probably going to go to this Peterson barley spigot that I bought off Mike Rizzo. Probably do some 965 or something like that.
I got a Radice off of Mike there a while ago.
Yeah,
it's a nice little pipe.
I bought another one. I bought a Briarworks, the Bill Shalosky model of pipe of the year. Yeah, both of these were pipes that I was looking, and Mike had them. It's like, okay, great. how cool is that? So,
Yeah, nice.
so anyway, so Dimitri, what are you smoking?
Well, right now I'm smoking a Stoker Bay fourth generation afternoon melange in this Nut Sherman pipe made by Shalom Pipe Factory in Israel, also known as Alpha Pipe. Yeah, that's 1991 pipe. And by the way, I saw Mike Rizzo on Zoom in a cigar group, Johnny Smoke Some Cat, on Thursday. So there was meeting with Eric Espinosa of Espinosa Cigars. So Mike showed up there.
Oh, that was good. It's nice to see him. He was, you know, I wish he would join us again. He was always a fun guy to have around.
Yeah, and he knows so much. Always learn something new from him.
Yeah, he's kind of faded off of the pipe smoking quite a bit. He used to have like almost a daily YouTube thing, like 5 days a week, and he quit that and kind of went.
Oh, he's not doing that anymore?
Yeah, he went full on cigars, so I don't know.
Oh, really?
Maybe he still smokes pipes once in a while.
Oh, really?
But
He's not doing pipes anymore? He's not smoking
Yeah,
pipes
but
anymore?
he's definitely more into cigars now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Johnny Smoke Some Cat, usually he's on the side on the Facebook watching us, but this Thursday he actually joined us on Zoom because our guest speaker was Eric Espinosa. You don't see him often. But Eric Espinosa, those who live in New York, the Long Island area, Eric Espinosa will be on Tuesday at Tobacco Plaza on Long Island in Great Neck.
Dave, do you smoke cigars?
Very rarely. It's so expensive here.
Yeah.
You know, even a cheap, like, you know, Jose Piedro, like a 5-pack of like little Coronas is like $75-$80. So,
yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
a good.
By the way, guys, another interesting news from the cigar world. Well, I'm sure you all know one of the best tobacco shops in Albany.
Yeah, Park Lane.
Yep. So, guess who makes house cigars for them right now?
You?
Martinez Cigars, oldest cigar factory in New York City. They're in Manhattan since 1974. So they now make house cigars for them.
Yeah, last time I saw Paul was at Capitol Land.
Yeah, me too. That's when last time I saw Paul in person. But well, I love his tobaccos. He's very good pipe maker as well. Yeah. But like guys from Martinez Cigars, I see them all the time. Sometimes I go to their place. It's a tiny place on 49th Street in Manhattan. They have like 4 rolling tables. They're all cigars right there.
And Dimitri, but how many do they produce a year? Is there a number or range that they produce a year?
To be honest, I'm not sure. But well, they have great cigars, like their own brand. They also make one of the line cigars for Amendola, Jeff Amendola Family Cigars. His West Side Story, produced by Martino.
Oh, cool. Looks like Dimitri might have froze there for a moment. By the way, Dave, what are you smoking today?
Well, funny that you started with a Stanwell. I also am smoking a Stanwell. It's
nice.
an estate that I found at my local pipe shop, but it's been restored to the point that you can barely see the Stanwell on the stem. It's like the gold part's all gone, but you can see the imprint of it. And I don't know if there was no nomenclature on the side or it's been polished down and sanded to the point where it's gone. So
Mhm.
I don't really know much about the pipe. I think it's a shape 204. And it's kind of like a paneled horn
Mhm.
shape.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's kind of a neat little pipe. I wanted a smaller pipe to, I'm not smoking Virginias in this too much. Like I'm smoking the Beast in it right now, which
Mhm.
tends to smoke a little bit cooler than most vapors because it's mostly Cavendish and Perique. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little pipe. It gets a little hot at the bottom. I'm not used to this
Mhm.
shape, so
Mhm.
because of how it narrows at the bottom, you got to kind of take your time smoking this pipe.
Mhm.
So, and for me, most of my Virginia Periques, I just freight train through them, pardon the pun, because I'm an engineer.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
But yeah, that's what I have right now. I just bought
It's
this
a very,
last week.
it's a nice pipe. It's an estate. I love this. I would say like 50% or probably more of my pipes are estate pipes. These are
Yeah,
the best. It's a great thing going. It's a really nice looking pipe with the panel. I mean, it's just a really interesting shape there, and the stem,
Yeah,
yeah. This I
you
don't know if
don't
this is
see.
acrylic.
um,
The
do you
whatever you
think
want
this?
to call that, the ferrule.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
you don't see
So
panels
it's
stand
got a
very
piece of
often.
acrylic. Oh, it's got a ferrule on it. So it's got like this, like a shank extension thing there, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's nice.
my other theory is that could be part of a repair.
It could be part of a
Yeah,
repair
it's
if the thing
possible. Yeah,
broke up.
maybe shank was cracked, so they
Yeah.
cut off the piece and made that extension.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
probably why the nomenclature's gone, because the
That could
pipes
be.
that I seen like this, the nomenclature should be on the side here,
Yeah.
towards the stem, and there is none. So that's my theory, is that this acrylic, and it's a nice piece of, like, it's kind of iridescent on top, but on the sides it's opaque. You can see the
hmm
draft
yeah,
hole.
it's like partially translucent.
Yeah. So anyway, for the price, I couldn't say no. And when you walk in the pipe shop, you can't buy a pipe every time. But when I saw this little guy and the price that it was at was like, I think it was $65. So
Yeah, that's a
you
good
know,
price.
That's a good deal.
yeah, and I just thought it was a cool looking pipe. I had to take it home, so that's what I got. So after that, I don't know what I'm gonna smoke. So I'm probably gonna switch over to some Watch City cigars, like flake number 558 in a bigger pipe. I don't know which one yet, but
Have you tried his Ernie's Orientals? Have you tried those? Erniental?
not yet. No, I haven't. All I bought from him is Old Dominion and flake number 558, and
Yeah,
then the seasonal release of Rougarou I get twice a
yeah,
year.
yeah. Those are really, those two, the Dominion and 558 are really popular. But he had a limited Ernie's Ernie Ernie Ernientals. But I remember I won that at a raffle at my club, and it's like really good tobacco. I mean, he just does a lot of good blends.
Yeah. So I've been trying to, like, next time I order kind of thing, but I can only get like a quarter of a pound at a time,
Oh God.
just because of the customs and stuff. I don't want
Mhm,
to end up getting jacked too much for
mhm,
duty and stuff. So uh I picked the ones that I want, that I know, and then it's kind of hard to throw a couple ounces of something else in there if it's going to
mhm.
affect my daily smokes. But I wouldn't mind trying a couple. One of these times I might. Randall, he's really into this slipper orient.
Right,
What is
Persian
it?
slipper.
Persian slipper.
Yeah,
And then there's another one's white something he really liked. I think it was only a one-time kind of release, but I wouldn't mind trying one of them once in a while, because
yeah.
I do
I
like
haven't.
Englishes and Orientals occasionally.
Mhm.
So
I haven't tried the Persian slipper, but that sounds like one I'd like to try. I've been getting more into some of the Orientals lately.
yeah,
But yeah, he's got Ernie's really good. He's a really good blender.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
By
he's
the way, guys, I recently tried that new fourth generation one with the ship. It's actually, yeah, it's like a crossover blend. It's slightly aromatic, but that's kind of aromatic that I can enjoy. It's like excellent Virginia Oriental blend with a little bit like a touch of hazelnut.
Mm-hmm. It kind of sounds
Well,
like.
it needs a little bit of aging because it has a little bit of bite from Virginia, but probably like 1 or 2 years of aging will make it amazing smoke.
So Dimitri, how those blends you did for Barclay Rex, how are they doing?
It's just one blend. Well, people like them, people buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Also in New York Pipe Club, guys who smoke aromatic, like the chief, Mike, you know
Mm-hmm.
him. He smokes pretty much strictly aromatics. He said, finally, Dmitry made tobacco that I can enjoy because he hates English.
Which is this Mike Garr?
No. From New York Pipe Club. Mike,
Oh, right.
He's a retired policeman. The
Oh,
Cuban
yeah.
guy.
Oh, yeah, Mike, the
The
retired
chief.
policeman. Absolutely. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, the chief.
Oh, yeah, I enjoy Mike. He's a nice guy. He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad he's liking your tobacco and they're being well received. That's certainly a nice, a nice feeling to have. You made a tobacco and people like it, right?
Yeah, and Vanessa, well, she's the owner's daughter. Well, basically, she's in charge now because Vinny has been sick last few years. He doesn't even go to the store anymore. Vanessa is running the thing. So she was very surprised and very happy when we released the tobacco on her birthday.
Cool.
Well, that's really cool, Dimitri. Does on the label, does it say anything like it's blended by you? Like this is...
No, it's just her name. It's called Vanessa's because they have Vincent's tobacco. Because founder of Barclay Rex was Vincent. His father was Vincent. Well, his son was Vincent. His grandson is Vincent, and she's Vanessa. So they have Vincent, and now they have Vanessa as well.
Very, very, very fond of the name Vincent.
That's actually my favorite house tobacco from Barclay Rex. It's like classic English.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you will be at Barclay Rex or if you want to order something from them, Martinez also made some cigars with the Barclay Rex tobacco.
I haven't had a cigar in a long time. I know you smoke them a lot more. I'm very uneducated about cigars, and it's just not my thing. I mean, I like when I have one, I like it, but it's not something I would do regularly. But the shape I like the Robusto shape. I like a mild Robusto. If someone gives me that, I'm happy. That's good enough for me. Dave, I want to ask you. So, if you buy tobacco from, I know Miguel has talked about this a lot. If you buy tobacco, say from Watch City, let's say you buy $40 worth of tobacco, whatever, and it comes to Canada. You have to also pay a tax when it gets there?
It's hit and miss. So I stay under 200 grams or 8 ounces, which is just above 200 grams.
Okay.
But they kind of have like a window there because, United States uses ounces and Canada uses a metric system. So, I can get 8 ounces, which is like 230 grams. And then they usually, like 9 times out of 10, it will pass through the border without any additional fees. But then there's like the last time I bought 4 tins of that new, whatever that aromat, Saint Espresso.
Yeah,
so I got 8 ounces of that from smoking pipes, and I got hit with like a $65 tax and duty, which is still nothing. you know, one tin here.
Still better deal than buying tobacco in Canada.
Yeah, well, one tin here now is about $75.
Wow.
So
Really, a tin?
yeah,
Like just like a tin of like Cornell and Deal or a tin of
yeah.
anything, really?
Yeah,
McLaren
well,
Navy Flake.
yeah,
That's
$75
in New York
bucks.
City, in New York City with a 75% tobacco tax, like 50-gram tin goes for usually like between $20 and $30. And that's probably, if not the highest, one of the highest prices anyway in the United States. Because everywhere else it's like $15 tin.
Yeah. Now we have the tobacco tax, then we have goods and services tax and provincial tax. So the GST and the PST are 11% on their own, and then whatever the tobacco tax is, I think it's like $9-10 for every 50 grams, and then I don't know. It's
Yeah.
So,
Well,
now
now they want to increase tobacco tax in New York to 90%.
90%. So, Dimitri, my understanding, the owners of the stores, like Paul, like if he has to pay that tax up front on the tobacco.
Yes,
my
regardless
God.
of whether he sells that tobacco or not. When he buys that tobacco from a manufacturer or distributor, he has to pay that tax.
So
isn't
that
there
would,
also a monthly excise for his stock? So I remember Steve Fallon saying something about how he has to be careful about how much stock he has because he has to pay a certain amount each time the tax man calls for whatever he has in his stock. I don't know if that's per year or per month or something, but just it seems like a compounding tax to me.
So
Yeah,
are
they
you
basically double tax everything.
so are you saying that he could get taxed just for having it on the shelf?
Kind of thing, yeah. That's
Oh
kind
my
of what I
God.
gathered when I was listening to him talk on Brian Levine's show, and I may have misunderstood what he said, but he didn't want to keep everybody sending stuff all at once. He wants to just kind of keep it coming in at a pace so that he doesn't have this all in his inventory, because there's some kind of recurring tax or some kind of recurring thing that goes by how much he has. So I don't know if that's just where he lives or what, but it sounded like
it might be just local thing. I'm not sure about that. I haven't heard about that.
It's incredible how that's really impinging on things. I mean, so Dave, if you buy a tin in Canada, I mean, it's got to be something that you really know and you really like, right? I mean, if you're going to fork over $75, I mean, I'm thinking like, what if you buy something you don't know what it is, you're not sure, and you buy it and you hate it? I mean, that would suck.
I really have relied on some good friends, like you mentioned. Sergio has been like almost my guiding light through the pipe smoking journey. He sends me stuff regularly, different kinds of things to try. He'll send me an ounce or two of this, and sometimes there's like 12 or a whole bunch of different blends in a box, and then I can try stuff, and then I know which ones I want to buy, because like you said, it's too expensive to be an experimentalist in Canada. You don't.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to pay like $60 or $70 for something to try. What if you don't like it?
Exactly.
So what's the selection like in your typical pipe shop, whatever you have up there? What kind of a selection do they have? Is it big, small?
Oh, it's not big, but it's fairly comprehensive. Like the shop I have, they have a few different McBaron blends. They have a few different Cornell and Deal blends. They have some Seattle Pipe Club blends. There's this stuff called Vincenzo now, which is, I think, the Canadian version of Peterson.
Oh, okay.
It's all of the blends are named the same as Peterson's blends, like University Flake, Sherlock Holmes, etc., etc. But I think that the Peterson didn't want their labeling to turn into this crap. So they made a sub brand called Vincenzo so that they could put out these ugly tins and not, you know, spoil their image kind of thing. That's my theory on it.
That's a good theory.
Yeah, and I've purchased University Flake because I really like it, and I've tested it, you know, side by side, one flake in 2 brand new corncob pipes, and I couldn't detect anything different. The only difference in the blends was that my actual University Flake has a couple years on it,
Mm-hmm.
where the Vincenzo ones are fairly fresh. So I
Right.
noticed a little bit of a difference in color on the flakes, but that's probably due to the age.
Yeah, but color changes with age. Usually
Yeah.
with age, tobacco gets darker.
Yeah. So that's the only
Especially with
difference I
greenness.
could discern between the two. And I'm pretty confident that they're the same blend. So we have that, Vincenzo. What else is there? They have, you know, they have a fairly good selection. And then there's the whole gamut of bulk tobaccos. He's got a
Mhm.
wall of, there's probably about 40 jars. Like I'm fortunate enough to have an actual smoke shop, like not one of those places that's full of bongs and shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, pardon my
Yeah.
French, but you know, it's a real tobacconist, and this place has been in business. I remember going there with my father as a small child, and it's still there. They sell really good cigars. They have a pretty nice humidor. Not that I'm really into it, because like cheap sticks are probably about $25, and then all the way up to the sky is the limit for like a really nice what would I, you know, what's
Do
the,
they have like a Cuban cigar
yeah,
there?
oh, they're all
Gotcha.
a lot of Cubans. What the heck am I trying to, I don't, what's
Like a
that one?
Cohiba?
Yeah, they have all kinds of those, like every version of that, every size and shape, and you know, all that stuff. So, you know, Romeos and I don't know all the brands, but they have all kinds of stuff, and you can get a stick for $80. Like it's,
Oh
you know,
man.
yeah. And when I talk
And
about that,
that's insane. Yeah.
yeah, but some of my friends in the other pipe clubs that I'm in, like they're smoking whatever, and then I say, oh yeah, I seen one of those at the shop for like $65, and they just like, oh, that's crazy. What are you talking about? So that's why I'm not really into cigars. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
they have pipes there. They have Nording pipes. They have Stanwells. They have what's the Canadian one that Brigham, Peterson. They have a whole, one of the whole things is full of Peterson pipes.
yeah.
I bought all of my Petersons off of them. And you know, they have a little cabinet with estates. The fella does repairs and polishing and stuff right in the shop. So
That's nice.
I'm really lucky, and it's only like, it would take me 15 minutes to walk there from my house. And then the next closest one would be about an 8-9 hour drive.
Wow.
So I'm really fortunate to have that. You know, even though the price is a little high, I'm sure every couple of weeks on payday, I'm gonna go buy a tin or something, and I buy all my pipe cleaners there. Even if I can save $1 or $2 by buying a bunch online, I just buy them there. You know, and I buy some bulk my favorite bulk blends are like Peter Stokkebye's
Yeah.
Luxury Navy, and I'll go through every 2 weeks. I'll go through probably, you know,
Yeah.
Well,
100
I
grams of
consider,
that.
yeah, as a pipe and cigar smoker, I consider it my duty to support brick-and-mortar shops.
Yeah.
No, I think I think it's a great idea that you can, sure, you can get it cheaper online, but I think it's really nice you go in there and you do that to try to keep that place going. It sounds like a great shop. It's
It
just that the
is.
prices are high, and it's not the proprietor's problem. He didn't do that. It's the taxes.
And
Yeah.
I have this argument every week with different people. They're like, you're crazy. It's costing you money to do it. And it's like, yeah, but I can go and hold this pipe. I can look at this pipe. I can like check do you mind if I take the stem off? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And I can look inside of it, you know, before I buy it. And I don't wait 2 weeks for it to show up in the mail and then find out it's not what I wanted. There's a lot that's worth a lot of money. And just walking in the door and they're like, "Hey Dave, how's it going?"
Yep.
And then I have somebody to bullshit with for 15 minutes. I bring in one of my pipes, like all of my Petersons have vulcanite stems.
Mhm.
So I don't clean them myself. I just, every couple months, I'll take one of them in. And when I buy, I get like a couple of bags of different bulk blends and look at their stuff. And then he's just in the back room. He opens the curtain and he's sitting there behind his polishing wheel, and we just bullshit.
Mhm.
That's worth something to me. I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
I would absolutely do the same thing.
Yeah, well, tobacco shops, they're not so much about tobacco pipes and cigars, they are about people. Yes, I have more cigars at home than I can smoke. Still, I go to any shop, I buy something.
Yeah.
And then I sit there, chat with people, with other smokers, people who work there, they all know me.
Yeah. And these people that run this shop are deeply invested in tobacco. Like this shop has been in the same location since 1958,
Wow.
and the same family. It was at a different location before 1958 in the same mall, but across the hallway. So this place has been in business. Like I said, I used to go when I was a small child on payday, every payday weekend with my dad. We'd do the 45-mile commute over to this town where I live now, and there was a few tobacco shops. Like the other one was on the other side of town. The lady who works at the shop now that I'm talking about, her uncle used to own that other tobacco shop. So these people, and the fella who owns this tobacco shop, he's just maybe 2 years older than me. His dad owned this tobacco shop that I'm talking about, and it's been in the same location since I went there when I was like a toddler with my dad. So, the place it's got some nostalgia to it. We were talking last week about how there used to be a table in the corner, and that's where everyone would sit on Saturdays and smoke, but you can't do that anymore. There's no smoking allowed. But
Yeah, but it
Well,
sounds like
that's how I feel when I go to Baclarex. Was founded in 1910, still in the same family since 1910.
Yeah. So to me, it's worth a few extra dollars. For me, I could get the tin of tobacco for $13 online, but it's going to cost me another $20 of shipping. And that's all the American. So add another 30% onto that. So by the time I buy 4 tins of tobacco at $13 a piece in the States, it's going to be $100 at least for me. But
Yeah.
whatever, I'm going to spend a few extra bucks, and I buy a tin, whatever it may be. I usually stick to my like staples that I want. I always want to have a little bit of McBaron Navy Flake on hand because I like that. They have
that tin is completely a different tin than the actual McBaron's Navy Flake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like completely different.
I always joke because it's $75. It comes with this little stamp on it, and the stamp it's broken here, but on the top corner it says 50 on it, and that's supposed to be for 50 grams. But I always joke around and tell people that this stamp is worth $50.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, the tax stamp. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, all the tins are this color. Like the whole wall is this gross brown, nondescript. They even have the names of like what's the other one? Oh geez, I'm having a brain fart right now. But they've changed the names because we can't have the same names as American names.
Okay.
So what the heck is it? Ready Rub. What's the one that comes either in a blue or a yellow tin?
Oh, capstan.
Capstan. It's called Capstan GRR because you can't have Capstan Gold. Gold is too nice of a word for tobacco. So Capstan GRR means Capstan Gold Ready Rubbed. And it's in this crappy brown tin again.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I would think just going into the store, you gotta like really screw. It probably makes it even harder just to pick out the tobacco because it's all looks the same.
Yeah.
You gotta read every label.
Especially the older I get, it's harder to. I end up leaning farther and farther over top of the counter because all of the tins are behind it in the stores. They can't have the tins out in the store. They have to be behind the counter.
Yeah, well, at least in New York, you can come, take the tin, hold it in your hand, turn it around, read what it says.
Yeah, and there's none of them fancy, you know, a GLP's tin. It's got like the whole little story about it, Fillmore, and why it's called that, and what the ingredients are. And on our tins, on the back, it's just got a picture of some rotten teeth or somebody's heart that's been all damaged or whatever, or a set of black lungs or some really gross picture.
Yeah. And please, you never get it from pipe smoking.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, the label is half the fun of having the tin, right? Because they go through, you know, they go through a lot, I'm sure a ton of money to kind of design those labels and do that printing and everything, right? To make it really, it's just, you know, when I look at, you look at your wall of tobaccos, you like to look at all the different labels.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you look at these Cornell and Deal, like they have, you can tell it's a Cornell and Deal product just by the shape of the tin, right? But in Canada, it's one of these tins again. So they have to take that extra expense at Cornell and Deal.
Yeah, to make different tins just for Canada.
Yeah, different labels, different tins, everything. So, you know, we don't get the selection because those companies are only going to put, you know, especially Cornell and Deal, how many blends do they have? So they're only going to do like the ones that they know are sellers. So you get maybe 10 or so different kinds. We don't get the full range of Seattle Pipe Club, but we do get like plum pudding and Deception Pass. I'm really hoping that
Mississippi
new one.
River is one of my favorites. Well, plum pudding and Mississippi River are my two favorites from Seattle Pipe Club.
I think wasn't Mississippi River, wasn't that the first, was that the first one, or was it plum pudding that he put out?
I don't remember which one was first.
I mean, I know they're both the earlier ones.
Yeah, but those two are my favorites.
By the way, Dave, that Fillmore, that GLP's Fillmore, that's a really good tobacco.
Oh, I love it. It's amazing.
It's a great tobacco.
I didn't think I was going to like it because of the Latakia in it, but it really is very condimental and it opens up the rest of the blend amazingly. And I think it makes it smoke a lot cooler, honestly. So
Latakia actually cools down the blend a lot, and sometimes you cannot really taste it, but it makes smoke cooler. It counters the heat from Virginia.
Yeah, I bought it as kind of an experiment, and now it's one that I really have to order to keep on hand because I really enjoy it.
I would recommend Bankside, GLP's Bankside. That's another good one where, yeah, the Latakia is in there, but it's not like a Latakia blend, but it just kind of helps out the blend.
Yeah,
that's another really good one if you can get it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of my friends have said it's a really good one. That's one of the new ones, like the Zeitgeist line, that just kind of is one of the newer blends.
Also, that new one, Geometry, it's a great blend. It's Virginia Oriental, delicious.
Cool. Well, I'm really looking forward to the next offering from Seattle Pipe Club. Is that Down Yonder? It's called, and it's made with Brazilian Virginias that are stoved cavendished, and also it's fermented, and it's supposed to release in August. I think I actually asked Matt Gus yesterday, and he said August 22nd
Why
ish.
now, Seth? Why now?
So I'm looking forward to that one coming out because a lot of my friends have said it's a banger of a blend. So
Is
and
that
I
is that
love
a
it.
G is that a GLP's blend?
No, Seattle Pipe Club.
Oh, Seattle Pipe Club. Okay.
Yeah. So they were giving out samples of it at the Chicago show, and a lot of my friends that were there are all smoking these little Ziploc bags with this stuff in it, and they're just like, "You got to try this when it comes out." So I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's really dark, like for a Virginia blend, but it's stoved and cavendished, and yeah, so sounds really good.
So, I mean, I wonder, Joe Langford has passed away, right?
Yeah.
What's up?
So I wonder, like,
Yeah.
is there someone else blending them now, or is this
Yeah,
something
I'm
they
not
don't do?
sure. I didn't really want to go there with Matt because it's probably a little sensitive of a topic still. But maybe he had a few left in the book,
Mhm.
and this is kind of like his legacy or something.
Right. Yeah.
That's
some
a
leftover-
romantic way of thinking of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a band breaks up or ends, and they have there's some leftover songs in the vault.
Unreleased B-sides or something.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't really want to go there with him because he was gracious enough to like answer my question directly. So I didn't want to poke too hard. I just wanted
No, I
to
don't
know
blame
when
you.
it was coming out, and yeah.
By the way, when it comes to Virginia, out of what's now available on the market, this is my favorite.
Oh yeah, from Chris Morgan.
Chris Morgan, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's like best soft Virginia since McLaren.
Did they stop producing those?
What, McClelland?
No, the Chris Morgan blends.
I'm not sure. I know they still have them at Butler X.
Okay. I usually talk to him on Friday nights on a Zoom, but I haven't been there for a couple of weeks, so I don't know.
So ask him next time.
Yeah, you bet. But what's the other? There's the other one. The vapor one.
White Rabbit is English, and Bayou Buck is Virginia Peri.
That's a green tin, right?
Yeah. I like all three of them, but out of all his blends, this is my favorite still.
Nice.
Of Virginia. It's absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
So, Dimitri, tell me about the Jackalope. Was it just a straight Virginia?
Yeah. Soft Virginia plug. If you never tried it, if you like soft Virginia, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. That's why I like 558 from Watch City, because they have it's red Virginia and then the stove Virginia, and it really sweetens it up and softens it up. You can smoke the heck out of it and it doesn't bite you, which is a lot of Virginias you got to be careful. Like McBaron Virginias, I have to smoke very carefully, even though I like the taste. But
soft Virginia, it doesn't require extra agent. It doesn't have bite.
Yeah.
Just because of the stoving process takes care of that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the reason I like it, because I consider myself a bit of a choocher, for lack of a better term. I like to choo on my pipes, especially Virginia. I can't get enough of that sweet, good flavor. So I know a lot of people say if you go too hard on it, you lose some flavor, but for me, I don't. It's just I like more and more. So. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a good tobacco to try, that Jackalope.
Yeah.
Dimitri, is it a flake?
It's a plug.
Okay.
Oh yeah, nice. So it's whole leaf squashed, or it's not a crumble cake, it's an actual plug?
No, it's actual plug.
Oh, nice. That's interesting then.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I have that GL piece geometry that you were mentioning, Dimitri, and I find that like if I get a knife and I slice it vertically, you know, like don't tear off like the top, just slice it down so you can get all the representation of everything
Yeah,
that's in it.
yeah,
It seems to
all,
make
yeah,
a
all the
difference.
layers together. Yep, and
Yeah, that
then
seems to
rub
make
it
sense.
out, and
Yeah.
excellent.
I know when the same thing when and this is a really gross blend anyway, but that Scarecrow from Warped and C&D, and it comes in a crumble cake, but it's pressed leaves. And first I didn't really know, so I was like kind of peeling it off the top. And then you weren't getting the whole idea of the blend that way. So when I started cutting it down, it tasted a little better. It's still, you know, sorry, Jeremy, or anybody who likes the blend, but to me, it's absolutely nasty and I don't want it in any of my pipes. So, but yeah, it definitely had a different flavor when you cut it the way you were saying, Tim, and that's definitely probably the right way to go about it. So
Yeah, because when I with the GL with the geometry, I tore a little bit of the top off, and it's okay, this is okay. But then when I sliced, it's this is different.
yeah,
Definitely more of a comprehensive
yeah.
blend. So
Yeah,
that beast that you're smoking, someone gave me a little sample of that, and I started smoking it. And I could start to feel my head starting to get to the point where it's going to start spinning pretty soon. So I thought, I don't know, it's probably it was a good blend, but it's not for me. But do you like it?
Yeah, to me it's not that bad, but I have a pretty high tolerance for nicotine. Like unfortunately I also smoke cigarettes, so like nicotine doesn't really bother me. If anything, I need more of it. So if I need like a really good hit, it definitely has some packs a little wallop, that's for sure. But I could easily, like yesterday I was mowing my lawn with a pipe and I was smoking the beast, and it's like you just have a little something to eat breakfast. You know, I wouldn't have it, you know, midday after you haven't eaten for quite some time, or on a real hot day. So you know, it would be something you sit down and enjoy. But for me, like I said, I have a pretty high tolerance for nicotine, so it's a different. I don't know. I was expecting it to be a lot more like beastly, you know, as per its namesake, but it's kind of like a teddy bear to me. It's just kind of warm and cuddly. It's got a nice sweet flavor and doesn't really scare me anymore.
I have a friend of mine in the Sherlock Holmes Club who enjoys, you know, really getting knocked over by the tobacco. Like he likes like the Peterson Irish Flake and anything else that's heavy duty.
Yeah, I don't. You know, there are some times when you know, if you're hot and you haven't been keeping your hydration up, or maybe you've had a few too many beers or something, where blends that are high in nicotine might sneak up and get you, or even for myself. But you know, most of the time it doesn't affect me too badly. So one time I have actually, a friend of mine sent me a bag of granular Perique, just straight Perique, and I tried that out, and that got me unexpectedly a little bit. I had to put the pipe down because I was getting a little, you know, that salivating and like, I can't keep doing this or I might end up sick kind of feeling. So
they probably gave you a good idea of what Perique is like by itself.
Yeah, and it's good, but I think it's better when it's blended with something. So, you know, now because I really enjoy the luxury Navy Flake, but I rub out one of these and then I just take a pinch of that Perique and I throw it in there while I'm rubbing out the flake, and that makes it really, really, really good. So there's no exact science of weight or anything. I just take a pinch with my, kind of like you know, your grandma when she's cooking.
Yeah.
I just, that makes it better.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, so it's a nice condiment, and I'm really a fan of perique. So you can add it to just about anything in my opinion, and it makes it better.
Yeah, that's how I came up with my first blend. Like I was smoking Butera Pelican, good tobacco, but not exceptional. I added some cornmeal granulated perique to it, and I like the result better than the original. So
Yeah,
my first blend was based on that.
nice. You nowadays, if you can find those Butera blends, they're worth a few bucks. Can't remember what the other one's called. Kingfisher?
Kingfisher, yeah, the flake, yeah.
Yeah, they see those tins, they're going for a few dollars now.
Yeah, do you go on Pipe Stud's website on Saturday morning?
Sometimes I look on there, but mainly it's like I do the tin bids and cigar bids, kind of looking on there, but I don't really wake up and wait for Pipe Stud because I can't afford secondary market prices. So
yeah, the prices are all really high, and they are.
And to me, some of those are really nice and whatever, but I think the blends that are out currently are also good, and I don't have to go through waste a lot of money on it, which I don't mean waste, but where I could buy 4 tins of something that I really like, or I can try 1 tin of this old stuff that who knows if I like it. I just heard that it's cool. So, that's another experimentation that I'm not really willing to partake in.
There are some really expensive ones. I mean, all the McClellans, the anniversary ones, they're all like 90 to 100. And he's had some on there, $500 or $600, for a really super old rare tin.
Yeah, like 1992 Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
Well, I was fortunate enough to find a few tins of Beacon here in Canada, and the rules here are really kind of good because if it's at an actual tobacco shop, they can't raise the price. So once it hits the shelf, that's how much it is. And I bought these tins for $50 a piece Canadian. So I got 3 tins of McClellan Beacon, and it was 14 years old.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it.
So I smoked 2 of them, and I gave the last one to Brian Levine for his diabetes fundraiser this year. So it hurt to give away, and I might end up bidding on it to get it back. I think, I don't know. So anyway, yeah. But they can't raise the price. This place has bags and bags of McClellan, but it's in those wax paper bags. So I'm not sure how good the tobacco will be inside of those.
Oh, they have McClellans up there?
Yeah. I'm not really gonna say where because I don't
say where. But that's. I mean, how expensive is it in one of those bags?
Well, I think they're 1 pound bags, so it's fairly
it's gonna be heavy.
Fairly expensive. It's probably gonna cost you about $200 or $300.
Wow. Yeah.
But to me, because of the container, that wax paper bag, like it's like it looks like an old wax paper bag. I don't know how it's I think it's a pound. And I don't think that the tobacco in there survived the time in that packaging. So I don't know if it's worth it to me to risk.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I would be a little bit nervous about that too. I mean, that's definitely not the original packaging.
Yeah, well, I think back then it was because tobacco shops had McClellan in bulk, right?
Yep.
So these were like probably for the tobacco shop's bulk supply. And I can't remember the names of them. This fella that I know, he put out a YouTube video, actually, is where I found it. And he was just wandering around his local tobacco shop. And he was scanning back and forth on all the tins, and I saw the McClellan beacon, and I remembered the name of the store. So I phoned this store, which is across the country from me, and the gentleman there didn't know a whole lot about pipe tobacco. So he actually he brought the friend over who did the YouTube video, and I talked to him, and he went and picked all the tins that I wanted and gave them to the fella, and he just rang them in whatever price was on the tins, and I got them sent in the mail for 12 extra bucks, and it was really a good deal. But them ones on the bottom shelf and them bags are interesting, but I don't know. I don't think I'm willing to risk that much money on that.
Yeah,
Just because.
I know. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't know if you really, well, you probably would like it because it's great tobacco, but it's a lot of money. And even if it's not in good shape, then you have to try to rehydrate it. Or, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not really.
It still loses a lot if it's too dry. Even if you rehydrate it, you cannot bring the oil back.
Yeah.
If it loses the oils, it loses a lot of flavor.
That's my concern, is that the time in that packaging, it wouldn't have stood up. Like they weren't sealed again in like a Mylar or anything. It's that kind of a wax. I don't know if you know what I mean, but
Is it like a cereal box bag?
well, not even. It's like brown paper bag, but like almost like butcher paper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But a sack like that, and it's got like just a white label on it that's McClellan, whatever, blah blah blah. And I don't know how it's sealed on top, but I don't think that it's hermetically sealed like a C&D tin. And
Yeah.
over the time, I'm sure that it's been compromised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless they keep it in a humidor, it will definitely lose a lot.
Yeah, I'm afraid that might be the case. So I picked the tins that I liked. I got a few of Beacon, and then what's the other one? Aurora. I got some of that. But I never tried the Aurora. I sold the Aurora to one of my friends, and I made a few bucks off of it because he really, when he saw what I had, he offered me a stupid amount of money, and I couldn't refuse. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Mm-hmm.
So I took it.
I remember when McClellan's first came out. I think they had four of the brown tins and 4 of the green ones. Remember, they started off with that. Those were in the tobacco shops, and that was a pretty long time ago. And then, those just continued, and then there was more and more, and
Mm-hmm.
they were just such a big force in the tobacco world.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how they left the scene, kind of like Mike McNeil just kind of dropped the mic and left the building,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. But whatever. I guess it is what it is. I know there's a lot of controversy, or depending who you talk to, there's a lot of hurt feelings involved with
Mm-hmm.
it. But I kind of missed the bus on it. I was just starting into the pipe smoking shortly after they had left the scene, so I didn't really have much of a chance to get enamored with it that much. To me, it's more like a white whale kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing that
Yeah.
you hear about it, but you don't see it. So to me, I don't miss it.
Well, if you go to any of the shows, there's usually people there to have like a boatload of tins, that
Mm-hmm.
that are for sale. And of course, they're costly. I mean, maybe not as much as. I mean, they're easily $80 a tin. They put the price on them
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they can get. So
Yeah. Well, I see a lot of my friends on there on different pipe groups on Facebook who are selling all this stuff, Frog Morton for like I think it's a 100-gram tin is
mhm.
like $130 US. So it's whatever. I guess if you can get it, whatever the market will bear. I'm fully into making money. If it's if you want something and someone has it, then that's the way it is, especially when it's not available anymore. So
Well, I mean, that's what happens, right? I mean, things become more valuable.
yep. So a lot of people complain and call people hoarders or whatever. You know, when a blend comes out that I know is going to be good, I'll try and buy as much of it as I possibly can, and then I can kind of help my hobby out, habit or hobby, whatever you want to call it. But you know, like I bought a whole bunch of the Sun Bear mountain flower because I knew in a few months that stuff was going to be worth a lot more than what I paid for it. And if I sell half of what I bought, I can buy another couple of different things that I want at no expense to myself. So
Yeah,
it ended
I
up
like.
not working that way though, because I like it too much to sell.
No, I had a Sun Bear. I had it sitting on my shelf for a while, and I tried it. It was, I mean, I smoked it in the beginning, and then over time, it seemed like it got better. I enjoyed it more. I don't know what the deal was, but
Yeah. Especially after you've opened the tin, I find like
Mhm.
when you open the tin, it's really fresh and wet. But if you open the tin, and it was kind of an accident for me. I opened a tin, and I filled up a pipe full, so when I drove to work, I could smoke this on the way to work. But something happened. I got a phone call or something, I can't remember, or I forgot something in the house, and I went to get it, and then I just buggered off and drove to work, and I forgot the lid off of the tin. And I thought, oh my God, when I got home, this is going to be ruined, because I was gone for 30 hours or so. But when I pinched it, and it still felt okay. And I just put the lid back on it, and then I smoked some of it the next day, and it was like, oh, this is way better now.
So
So
maybe it needs a little bit of airing, and it needs a little bit of time.
yeah, I think so. It was just fortunate that it was at a time of year here where it was semi-humid out. In the winter time, it would have been dried up to a crisp, especially sitting here in my garage with the heat, with the furnace blowing all night, and it gets really dry in here. But in the summertime, it was probably about 65-70% humidity, ambient humidity. So it wasn't detrimental to have it open for that long, but the air helped it out. So yeah.
Yeah, that is a good tobacco. I like that. I've been, as far as like tobaccos that I've really become fond of Dunhill's London mixture. Of course, they don't make it anymore. So
Yeah.
I learned about it. David Martinez introduced me to it, and I really liked it. So the last two Columbus shows that I went to, we both are fans of it. So we go around trying to scour as much as we can.
Snipe it off of each other.
Yeah. No, well, no, they was, no, we're pretty good with each other. It's like, okay, there's a tin over here and a tin over here,
Yeah.
I mean, at least the price on that is not absurd. It's like I've got it for $25. It's not crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. My favorite one of those would be Navy rolls, but I've only got to try the Dunhill one once,
Yeah.
couple of coins of it. I still like the Peterson one. It's really good too, but for some reason it's like way more expensive than everything else. Like all of the other Peterson blends are $13, and then Navy rolls is like 19 or $20, even
Yeah.
at smoking pipes.
I don't know how to explain that one.
Yeah. So I don't really buy. I'd rather spend the money on a couple tins of Escudo that are cheaper than.
Have you tried the Amphora Virginia blend?
I actually, when I bought that horn that I showed you guys at the beginning, I bought for the first time. I seen it available at my local shop, but I opened it and the bag, it was drier than cornflakes.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
I took it back immediately, and I was really disappointed because I've been, a lot of friends of mine and this other pipe group, it's kind of a running joke that's like the one fella who kind of runs the club, that's his favorite blend. So I was excited to try it, but I never.
It's a really good tobacco. I mean, I guess I wasn't very I don't know. I thought, okay, this is a stupid thought. This can't be very good. It's not in a tin, right?
Mhm.
But, oh my God, it's really good tobacco. It's really good and very inexpensive. I mean, that is a darn good Virginia.
Mhm. Well, you know what the telltale about Amphora Virginia is, that it's probably a pretty good blend, is if you happen across Per Jensen
Mhm. Yeah.
anywhere and he pulls out something to smoke, it's 9 times out of 10 he's going to pull out a pouch of Amphora Virginia out of his pocket,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
that's his go-to. So he's got pretty much any tobacco he wants to smoke, and he's blended some of the finest tobaccos that anyone knows about, and
Mhm.
that's the one he smokes. So that's probably a telltale that it's not terrible.
Oh yeah. I haven't tried the others, but that one is good.
Yeah. Well, I bought a pouch of Virginia and a pouch of the Kentucky blend when I bought that pipe, and then after I opened, I was excited, and I just pulled, like, it's broken flakes in the bag, and I pulled it out, and it just about turned to dust and fell out of my hands, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
that's something went askew with that one.
Yeah, the whole batch, I think, because even the Kentucky I didn't open, like unbreak the seal of the pouch, but after the fact I squeezed the pouch and I could tell that it was all dry in there too. So I don't know what happened. Something in shipping, or maybe that batch of packaging didn't seal properly or something. So I was kind of disappointed. That was
Yeah.
my experience with Amphora Virginia so far.
Well, if you get another pouch that's not ruined, I would suggest trying that. I think you really like it.
Yeah, well, my tobacconist told me when he gets the next stuff in that he'll just give me a pouch of it. And when I took back those 250-gram pouches, he gave me 75 grams of luxury Navy flake and 75 grams of luxury bullseye flake in return. So I gave him back 100 grams of tobacco, and he gave me 150 grams of tobacco for my trouble. And he's going to give me a pouch of Amphora Virginia when his next batch comes. So it turned out to be kind of a, happy accident, I guess. So
Yeah, it sounds like it worked out okay.
yeah. Oh, well, I don't know what happened today. Like, what's going on?
I don't know. It's the first time this has ever happened.
It's almost like Twilight Zone-y that, like some of the old regulars, it's like, where is everybody? Not that we're not having a great chat. I'm enjoying it, but
Yeah, which was a good time.
yeah.
I was wondering, this is a whiskey collection question. Have either of you tried a single malt called Glen Alakai?
No.
No.
Yeah, I just wondering if you did. I've seen it. I've seen it around. I was kind of wondering about it. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Maybe
I have the
try it.
same problem with alcohol here as
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
with tobacco. Like even like a Glenfiddich or Glenlivet, like just the
Really?
10-year is for a fifth is like $80.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So Glenlivet is like $34 here.
Yeah. So that's why, yeah, and I don't like cheap ones. Like I really like Irish whiskey. This is one of my favorites. Tyrconnell.
Right. Okay. All right. Yes.
Tyrconnell.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. And this is $100 for
Oh my God.
750
Yeah,
mils.
I'm sure that it's nowhere near $100 here.
Yeah, and the other one I really like is Connemara.
Yeah.
Peated,
Connemara is the one that has the peat in it, right?
yeah, it's a peated Irish whiskey, and
Yeah,
it's
that
really
is good.
nice.
That is good. Have you tried Redbreast?
Yeah, I had Redbreast 18-year-old. I bought it at an Irish pub in Victoria. It cost me a lot of money for 2 fingers. It was all like a $90 pour, but
Man.
I just wanted to try it, and it was really nice. But
Yeah. Well, I like all whiskey. So and I like Scotch. I like making old fashions with bourbon, and I think the Irish whiskey seems like it's like a little bit easier drink, right? It just
Well, Irish whiskey is usually a little sweeter, have like more fruity flavor, like tropical fruit.
Hmm.
The last Irish whiskey I had was Tillin, which is actually very good.
Yeah. Well, even Jameson, like a fifth of Jameson is like $50 here. So
yeah, that seems that's this can. Do they not want you to have any fun up there? I mean,
oh well, you can have as much fun as you want, but you have to pay for it.
right? You got okay. You're gonna have to pay
You
for it.
have to pay to sin up here. Smoking, drinking, everything. It's way expensive, but whatever. It is what it is, right? I would like to get into some of these bourbons and stuff, but like same, everything is prohibitive to start experimenting. So that's why I just kind of stick to a couple of staple brands. So I'm not really well versed.
Yeah. Do they have a Total Wine up there?
No, we have similar kind of shops, but actually where I live in Saskatchewan, until the end of last year, there was some private liquor stores, but it was mostly run by the government. So you were only allowed to buy whatever they offered.
Mm-hmm.
And even the private liquor stores could only offer stuff that was on their distribution list. But as of the end of the year, the government kind of backed out of the program, and now private liquor stores are starting to take over, and they can deal with suppliers, and we're getting a little bit more of a variety of things that are becoming available now, which is interesting. But the prices are, they're not passing on the savings to us for the government leaving it there. It's like now it's free market, and if it's a rare bottle like a barrel select or whatever, that I can't remember what that name is for, when the distiller will offer only like X number of bottles to each location. I can't remember what that word is, but when those bottles become available at a couple of our shops, it's like those are, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. Wow. That's tough.
Yeah. So even like a 18-year-old single malts are, probably about $150 for, even like Glenlivet 18-year-old it's excruciatingly expensive. So anyway,
I mean, we're really lucky. I mean, we're lucky. I mean, I don't. A Total Wine is you walk in. It's like a Home Depot of booze. I mean, it is so big. Like, I mean, just like even just the beer selection. Like, there's oh my, it's almost like overwhelming. And then the cool thing they do, they sell a ton of singles, like a ton of singles. So you can go and like try one before you buy a whole 4-pack or 6-pack of some microbrew. But it's incredible, the selection, the wine it's just ridiculous. It's just it's a great store.
Yeah, well, we're getting some of those kind of deals here, and the one place is it's Sobeys, which is kind of it's a grocery chain. It's kind of related to Safeway and IGA. I don't know